Ah, yes. Ah, fantastic. Brilliant. Wicked. Hello. Fantastic. Okay, so as you've probably noticed, this is saying episode 8.5. Now, what could episode 8.5 be? Why haven't you just gone to my episode 9 straight away? It's partly because there was a few things I wanted to do last episode that I couldn't quite do, and I got close. I kind of scratched the surface, but I thought I want to actually get it done today. It's also because this is actually a sort of bonus stream, I guess, because we're supposed to be on. I'm supposed to be doing different days to this. I can't remember. That was it, Thursdays and Saturdays. But I thought let's fit one in Monday. And so I've done something a little bit sneaky. So I want to try and do all the coding on stream, but there's a couple of little technical things that I wanted to try and get fixed. And I thought I'd rather do it. I'd rather kind of like play around with it, work out how to do it off stream, and then put it on the stream. So, what were those things? So, number one, I'll quickly show you something that that most people probably wouldn't even notice, but I quite like the look of. It's where you drag a card, right, and as you sort of move further up, just above a certain point, it begins to fade away a little bit, right? Now, you're probably looking at that thinking, oh, okay, yeah, that doesn't look too difficult. And in all honesty, it probably isn't that difficult. But I came up with the most complicated, difficult way, which it requires quite difficult, complex maths to be able to use. And I'll show you what I've done. It's not actually that difficult. There's just one line of code that kept me stumped for a long time. And let's see if we can find it. So card script, that's what we want to look at. So Control M O, right. So where are we? So the we drag card. This is the dragging card routine. So here's all the green notes. So basically, what's happening? You're holding the mouse button down. And while you're holding the mouse button, it's doing all this code here inside, we like this. Hold on, let me just try and get the exact bit. It's basically all of this code here is extra code that I fit in. So what's happening here? We've got a switch statement, right? Which is we're switching whatever the Y coordinate of the mouse position is. And like a new little thing, which I think I only found out maybe 6 months ago, is when you're using a switch statement, it doesn't have to be definitive one number. So in this case, I've got there's just a little bit of interesting syntax, which still will take me a little while to work out, but we've got case. So the actual thing that we're putting in into the switch statement, right? The sort of variable we're putting in is float is this Y thing. So float n when n is less than -1. What that's telling us is when the Y value is less than -1, it is just going to remain like opaque. The colour white, right? I'll explain this bit in a sec. Don't worry, we'll get back to this. This ugly, horrible monstrosity, what is going on here? Don't worry. So, and when it's above 0.25, it then changes the colour to basically still white, but this alpha, this number at the end here, is going to be 0.3333, which when you're actually looking at colours, you can simply have a new colour of like say 101, because if you look here, you can see it on this screen. I just wanted to check that. We've got the like the red, green, and blue variable, which which indicates how much, which is basically the RGB thing. But there's like a sudden like a fourth one, which is the alpha, which is again a number between 0 and 1, which indicates the alpha, how opaque it's going to be. So 0 being completely invisible and 1 being fully opaque. And so, right now, oh dear me. Right, so we've got, this did take me a while. So float n, so when we're actually between the point of -1 and 0, we're looking at the, we're basically, what we're doing is we're getting that particular float, which is somewhere between -1 and 0, and we're doing this. Okay, now this is the one line of code. This is I'm just going to put scary line of code. This is a absolute. This one did take me a while, and the actual way which I ended up doing it. I'll see if I've got the. I've got basically like you wouldn't have wanted to see me doing this. This was ugly code, but I'll see if actually I can get it on. Let's see, we got full screen. Hello, yes, right, fantastic. It's this basically. Don't think too much of it, but I sort of was writing down some maths to try and work out exactly. Anyway, so I did do that to eventually. Let's go back to the main setup. To eventually kind of reach the conclusion that this is how we do it. So that way it actually fades. It's not just it kind of instantly clicks. This is the fading, and this was the cost. So yeah, it's taken me a while. We can actually get rid of this now. So yeah, I did. We always need to know this is a scary line of code, so I'm keeping that in. Let's just tidy this up a bit. So I've done that one, which is great. Another thing that I've done is where are we? So when you are I'll show you out of all the cards. So we've got 4 cards so far. We've got one that creates defenders, one that creates attackers, one that gives armor to defenders, and one that gives armor to attackers. Right now, there's. I was hoping it was just going to be here, but that's not the case. Yeah. So another thing which I'll probably need to fix is at the moment it goes up, it's faded, and when it actually goes into the discard pile, it is faded there. But I actually don't mind that. I don't know if that's actually necessarily a bad thing, because it's not that significant. The fact that it's faded might be a good thing. I'm kind of umming and ahhing. I'm trying to work out if that looks better or not. Yeah, let's not worry about that. So I'll show you where we're at. I still haven't been able to show you the thing which I'm trying to emphasize. So one thing that you might have noticed as well, I've moved a little bit of the code around. It's exactly the same code, I've just swapped things in different places. So when you actually play the card, it spins round, goes into the deck, and then does the thing that the card does. And I will explain exactly why. Yes, this is the one that I was looking for. So this one gives armor to up to 4 attackers, and you draw a card. Now, the drawing the card bit was a bit complicated, right? Because as much as it kind of generally worked earlier, it did come at a price. Because what would happen is you would cast it, it would give the armor to the armored units, right? And then it would essentially, it would then draw us the card. But part of when you draw a card, what it does is it gets hold of all the cards available and puts them into your hand. So it would kind of draw it and then discard it, and through complicated means, which we can actually look at the code, it would mean that when this is in your discard pile, you can still select it because it's still counting as in your hand, so it would give you a bit of a bug. Whereas now I think I fixed it. So what's happening? So sustained attack, we're giving the armor, we've then discarded it and then we're drawing afterwards, whereas it would kind of do the whole thing while it was discarding, and it would just, yeah, it wouldn't quite work. So this is a bit of a yeah, just a sort of like, I think at the moment I'm kind of fine with that. So you play the card, it does the animation, lands in the discard pile, then does all the things. I think that's fine. Right, so that was another thing I sorted. So I fixed a problem that you probably didn't even realise that there was a problem there, but it's been fixed now, so that's good. Okay, right, number 2. Okay, so at the moment we've got give armour to this, but the text is going off in the sides, and there's lots of different ways we can work on to try and fix it. And what I did, I got some code from... basically, I stole code from another game. From I mean, it's one of my games, so it's all above board. But I haven't actually implemented it, and I'll show you what the code is. So this is actually a really useful little bit of code here. This is called fix string line length. So the idea is you put in a string. So one of the arguments is you put in a string of text, and you also put an int of line length, right? And that means that's how many characters long you want it before there's a line break. But the reason this is looks a little bit more complex is it compensates for making sure there's a space, that it doesn't just cut through in the middle of a word. So it will look for spaces. So this is, I mean, there might be a quick and easier way of doing this, and one thing which I'm always slightly fearful of is we have a while loop that's not in a coroutine, and the reason that's a little bit scary is I can, and I have done many times before, accidentally create an infinite loop and just frozen the game. But this one has been tried and tested in my previous games, so I'm pretty sure this is fine. So when are we going to need to use this? Oh yes, actually the important thing, and this is actually like we actually want to know how many like characters we can fit in the card, and that we can actually, I think the easiest method I found to do that is and it's the professional way. This is what all the professionals use, so don't worry, this is the easy this is the best method, don't worry, it's all above board, it's fine. So what I'm going to do, where are we want to get hold of the card description text. Right, here we are. Right, now thankfully my font, each character, regardless of the fact of whether it's a capital I or a W, it will always take the same amount of length, and that's quite important for this particular method to work. So what I'm going to simply do is go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. So I think we can fit 16 characters before we need a line break. So yeah, and I thought that's kind of like the method which I just found the easiest. So it doesn't even matter if I leave that text there, because it's always going to be changed anyway. So let's see where we're at. So for these ones here, we don't actually need to worry, because it's less than 16 characters anyway. But for here, right, we're going to get rid of these line breaks, because these were temporary line breaks that I put in last episode. There we go. And we are going to fix string line length, put that in there, and so the first argument is the string, and the second argument is how many characters we want on each line, and I think we worked out it was 16. So And we'll do the same here. $16 was the magic number. Now we're going to actually, once we've done this, we're going to test to see if it works. And I do have this feeling that someone's going to look at this and be like, oh, you do know there's a much easier way of doing it. You're probably right. You're probably right. I like having this. And another thing which I want to consider is this bit of text here, this bit of code, will actually be useful, not just in this class, but in multiple classes. So something to consider for the future is have this kind of readily available for other like scripts, other bits of code to then, because they're going to likely want to call this function. For the time being, it's just sat quite happily in this card text class, which is fine. But I do want to at some point put it somewhere slightly more like accessible to other code. Okay, so let's just see how that works. Right. That looks pretty reasonable. Give armour to up to 10 defenders. Yeah, that looks better. And let's just check the giving armour to these ones. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Right. Oh, yes. That's actually probably... This is almost... I'm reaping what I sow. I've kind of taken it for granted, but we can actually get that to quite easily fit in there, because I'm looking at the sustained attack, and we can use pretty much the same code. Because another important thing about this code that I've done is that it actually, like, you don't have to worry too much. It's just what it does is it works out where there's a space, and it actually removes the space and replaces it with a line break. Right, so yeah, so you know what? Now that we're actually on this swing here, I am going to trying to work out where I can put it, but everything can access it. Because I kind of want to put it on a big important script. And even though it's probably a little bit bold to do it at this point, I'm so sure that we're going to need this script everywhere that I am simply going to go into core and create a script that I'm going to call... I'm just going to call it master script. Oh, sorry, I'll explain the purpose of this in just a sec. It's, if ever, like, it's more like for future reference. If ever there's a bit of code that I'm thinking, there's a good chance so many bits of code are going to need access to, I'm just going to have it in master script. And there we've got it. And I will explain what I'm going to do in just a sec. So we open this up. Actually, I may as well do the code, but then I'll attach it. No, I'm going to attach it first because I'll forget to attach it. Right. Changing my mind mid thought. Okay. So, right, prefabs, core, hardcore. Right, master. Scripts. Yeah, master script. We're just going to put it on top. In fact, it's so important, it's going to go right at the top. This is the big daddy important script. So this one, I'm happy for this to be a singleton. And one thing that annoys me I remember when someone said introduced the concept of singletons, and at no point in any of the code or at any point does it ever actually say singleton, which is why I didn't know what singleton meant. But I know what singleton means now. Singleton is one big important script that everything can access. So here we go. So public static master script, and it must be static. Instance. It doesn't actually have to be called instance, but I just call them all instance. So public static instance, and then void awake. Let's go open an awake function. Instance equals this. So whatever I put in here, every single bit of code can just have instant access to this. So this bit of code here, it feels a little bit cramped in this card text class. It needs to be somewhere slightly more accessible. So we're going to Control X, Control V. I'm going to save it there, and now we should be getting some error messages over here, which is completely expected. Yes, right. So that's because we've taken this function out. But if I do master.script.instance dot, so instead of it actually doing getting the function from here, it's getting it from this big important master script. Now the master script, I'm sure, as we go later on, will I'm going to put some more functions in it, but I feel like this is something that I will regularly need, and I'd rather have, so my master script is just going to have a bunch of useful bits of code that are going to be needed regularly. So there we go. So now that is all fixed, and the reason that I kind of wanted to do this now was just purely because I was looking at the names, and the names don't quite fit in properly. So we're going to have a bit of an experiment. Yeah, I know. I couldn't wait till Thursday. I was like, I just want to do more code. I just love it. So, core. What was I going to do? We need to look at the cards. Okay. So, right. So this is the name, and we're going to do the same thing as we did before. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1. So maybe 11. Yeah. Just try and straighten that up just a tiny bit. I think that looks good. Yeah, so I'm just changing slightly where it goes. So, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now we just need to actually implement that. So if we go into classes, oh, actually this one's not used yet, is it? So how do we actually get hold of the name? Oh yes. So card name equals. So here's, yeah, what I'm going to do now is actually I only need to fit it in once. So we can, because we have that master script that we can have access to everywhere, master script dot instance dot fixed line length, and it was 11. So now this should hopefully fix everything, so that hopefully all the names should just look a little bit better and they won't be going off the edge. So let's give this a try. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Yeah, I quite like that. Okay, right. So now, okay, we've done that. So I think, so now we're on to the difficult part. This is going to be the proper sort of. We've had the vegetables off the side of the plate. We've had those, got them out the way. Now it's the proper meaty bit, right? It's the bit which I was stuck on last episode, and I was thinking, oh, I could just fix it. Now, instead of fixing it, I tried to fix it, and I would say I got a couple of steps closer. So I'll explain the whole issue with what happened, with what's going on last episode, and I'll explain what I'm going to do to try and fix it. So, I'm just creating. What have I done? Why is that not working? Let me just. I feel like I've missed something quite key. Oh, yeah, I see what the problem is. So, okay, yeah. All right. So it looks better. We can't quite do that because it's fitting in things. So I'll work out another way. Yeah, there's a much easier way of doing this. Sorry. I'll explain exactly the problem. The name of the card is very relevant to getting all the information to let it do things. So, so what I actually need to do is we're going to get rid of this. Not gonna, I want to copy it beforehand because we're going to need that. Yeah. So that's fine. We just got to work out on the card script. I think it should be on the card script when we're setting up all the text. Set up. Set up according to card class. Here we go. So, actually, I'll just fit it in. So, I'll quickly explain what I'm doing. Right. So, yeah, the reason it wasn't working was because this particular card name it's very relevant to getting all the information that it needs. So now that I've actually got this, all I've done is just physically mean that when I'm presenting the text on the card, it's going to use that little script. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that'll fix everything. Right, okay. It turns out there was a couple of bits of broccoli that I'd missed off the side of the main course of the meal. What is wrong here? Oh, I think these are just error messages we always get, and I've just ignored them. Yeah. Remember, ignore all the error messages. No, that's terrible advice. Right, so let's see if we're working now. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we can actually explain where the problem lies. Right, so we've got all these defenders, and I'm giving them armour. Now, as you can see, he's got 15. Now, if you have 12 normal defenders, what's going to happen? The 15 damage, it's going to the 12 defenders are going to block 12 of the damage, and then the 3 is going to go on to damage the town, and all the defenders will die. However, when they're armoured, when the armoured defenders do their defending, instead of just dying, they just become non-armoured, like in Ghouls and Ghosts. And in my head, I don't think it should be that difficult, but for some reason it's been giving me a little bit of grief. So let's go get a few more defenders. And I think the thing which I sort of learnt was may as well get some attackers as well. Let's go for it. And so there's 17 defenders, and that number in brackets is to indicate how many of them are armoured, and in this case all 17 of them are. This is a terrible hand. Okay, so the actual maths involved, I might even just get a separate bit of code and just try and... So what should happen in an ideal world is when this attacks, 15 of the defenders are going to get knocked away and then lose their armour. But what actually happens? Nothing. That's what we're working on. So I've actually... What I also want to do is it takes me about sort of 2 or 3 minutes just to get to that situation. So given that I'm going to need quite a lot of trial and error, I'm going to try and recreate that problem multiple times. I'm going to try and make it so that I can recreate that problem a lot quicker, so I can do so I can trial and error a lot faster. So in order for me to be able to do that, I probably need... Yes, okay. So what are we going to do? So yeah, we want to... So before I can even begin to start fixing it, I want to have a function which, say, creates 15 defenders and another function that makes 10 of them armoured. So, where are we? I think it's in buildings. Defense. Edit script. I'm going to close all of this, close all but this, just to clear it. Just makes life a little bit easier for later. Update. Oh, have we actually already got something? Code at the ready. Okay. Before, so add defense. Oh, yes. Okay. Right, fantastic. That makes life much easier. Okay. And... So what we are, R and A are the key ones here. And what I'm doing as well, because this will be relevant as well, this is the card action script. So this is basically the Big Daddy script that does all the actions that the card says that it does. So, right. So what we're going to do, let's go have this. Let's just change this to say 15, and this one to say 9. So let's just check that they all work. So this way we don't need to actually hope that I mean, we would have got the cards there, but that's irrelevant. So that creates 15, and then that makes 9 of them armoured. And now if I press the armoured one again, ideally it will just make the remaining ones armoured and neglect the rest. That's fine. Okay, so that's a good start. Right, and then we actually need access to the combat script. And I might have actually done this already. So I'm going to get rid of this eventually. But what we're going to do is I'm just trying to work out if it's worth me just copying and pasting all of this code. So the reason I'm looking specifically at this bit of code is because during the combat multiple things happen. So the monster will bounce towards and like do its animation to attack, and then we're going to, once it's done the attack, we're then going to get damage the defender beans. And this is the code which basically does this. The only problem is the code isn't working that well, and I'm trying to fix it. So let's just have a look. Let's get rid of that. Control V. Okay. So, what's actually happening here? It's finding out the number of defenders. Oh, this might be where the problem lies. Okay. What I kind of need to do is... Let me just do this to see if it fixes everything. In a way, if it does, that'll be a little bit annoying because I've just done all this setup under the assumption that it's going to take me lots of like trial and error to get it to work, and this might just fix it. You know when you just spot something? I mean, no. Okay, right. So it's kind of good news either way. So either way, we fix it, or we've actually had a purpose for. Oh, what's up? Comment scripts. What's the actual error message? What does it say? Oh, that's a very good point. Ah, yes, okay. All right, fine. So we just don't have any of that. We don't need that, really. Yeah, just get rid of that for the time being. Yeah, the problem is with updates, you can't have this yield return null bit of code in. So have we fixed it? Yeah, looks like we have. Okay, so what are the key letters? R, then A, and then S to test it. Okay. So without any armour, in an ideal world, I'm going to press S, and so what should happen is 15 of these beans should fly off and die, and the armour should go down by 15. So let's just test to see if that works. Ah, it didn't. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about explaining that. That's basically at the moment it was trying to call. Oh, although we don't have it anyway, do we? Okay, forget that. We're just going to change it to 15. This is all just trial and error. Yeah, essentially, it's trying to access something that it doesn't exist. That's why we got the error message. So let's have a look. Where are we at? So, right, okay, so where were we? So we've got 30 beans, and now that's it, yeah. So that worked well, and then ideally I press S again, and it will get rid of those, and then if I actually had the code set up properly and I pressed S again, it would get rid of, it would start dealing damage to the town heart. So now let's rebuild these up again. Oh, hang on. I know what I've done. It's okay. Sorry, this is quite funny. So, right, here's... Okay, right. So I've actually got R doing something else completely differently. So let's just get rid of that bit of code there. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's all good when you're debugging, having different buttons to do different things to test them. However, what I've actually done is I've got it so that whenever I'm creating, I've got one. R basically did two different things. One is create this minimap that's already there, so we don't need it, and create a monster. And so whenever I was, anyway, doesn't matter. It's fixed now. Hopefully, we're just making the 15, and we're not creating another duplicate of this that we don't need. Right. So get a little bit more armor. Get a bit more defenders, and then give this many armor. Okay. So now, if I was to press S now. What we're looking to do, because it's doing 15 damage, we want... Let's just see. Let's see what happens. Ooh. I think that works, you know. Okay. Right. So at the moment they're there, I need to do a bit of code to move them back into the defensive line. That actually works an awful lot better than I thought it was going to do. Was it just... Yeah, so I have a feeling that... When I changed that one little bit of code, I think they just fixed everything. But I want to get that confirmed. Okay, right. So, yes. So what we need to do is when we're actually destroying the defender beans, go to definition. So yeah, because basically, I spent quite a while looking at trying to fix this. You can see all these debugs that I've put in to try and work out, but it was literally right at the beginning when I identified that we've actually got to work out what the defense total is, because yeah, the defense total and armor total are two different things. Once I just changed one of the numbers to the defense total, I think that's fixed everything. We just need to I want to actually have a look at the code. So basically it's saying if the armor total is greater than 0, we're going to do everything that's in here. Okay. And then it's going to continue. Loss of defenders. Okay. Alright, so, and it should get to about here. So we're going to have... and what we actually basically want to have here is all the armoured defenders that have been smashed and lost their armour. We want them to move back in line to the non-armoured things. So let's actually get a little bit of a comment here to just so we know where our direction is. Move the beans that have lost their armour back in the line. Okay, that's what we're looking to do. How do we do that? That's a different story, but I think once we've done that, because I've actually done a little bit of useful stuff before. So in here, yes, so what we're doing, this bit of code here is telling all the armoured ones to splat back and lose their armour, and all of the ones that are no longer armoured have actually been held in a specific... I've got what's called a held defender bean script, which is basically they're all being held in a sort of a third list of beans that we're holding on to. So we just need to tell all of these ones to go back in line. So we've got the held ones here, and hopefully that won't be too difficult. Let's have a look at the actual code. How do we actually create them in the first place? Because I feel that where we're... set defense total. See what happens here. Create army for beans. Okay. Ooh. Is this going to just... Actually, this might even be... Huh. Right. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. This might actually... this might be a lot easier than I thought. Fantastic. Okay. So... yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's looking back at code. Basically, this is almost exactly everything that we want to happen. So we're actually going to have this routine. We're going to just copy it. And... Oh, yeah, the only slight problem... Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to have to stare at this. Defender... Yeah, so if... Yeah, okay. So we're not, it's not exactly the same. So yeah, we're going to copy this and then have a... yeah, and then just change a few of the things. So, individual bean routine, bean, that's lost armor. So all of this is relevant. This is still relevant. Here we can actually put our okay. So because we still want to add it to the defender beans, we don't need to set the sprites because we already have done. We don't need to do that. And we don't need to do that. This is very relevant. This is working out where it's going to move back to in line when we're putting it back. So this is very relevant. We don't need to do any of that. We're already animating, but we want to get it to do the move sprite, so that's fine. Don't need to do any of that. And what we also want to do, we want to... So what's happening is it's getting knocked back and it's doing the idle animation, but we want to make sure we're stopping the idle animation, which should be quite easy to do. We just go... start cancel animation of our bean script.get sr. So we're cancelling the idle animation for it to then do the moving animation. And we probably don't need any of this. The reason we don't need that is because basically the routine where we originally create the bean, where it comes out of the building and then moves up, what it's doing is it's getting to this particular point and then moving in line, whereas we don't need to worry about that because we're looking for it to move just directly back. So that's fine. This is giving me a red squiggly line there. So now it's basically finding that, cancel, go back to idle. Okay. So we just need to do this with all the held things, and then it should be good. So just got to remember. So I think this is the big old script. Yeah, this is the the ugly. We're going to get rid of all this debug at some point. So yeah, before it's no longer busy, we are now going to float time equals 0. Brilliant. Okay. I feel like, yeah, this is. I'm just going to type stuff for a bit and then explain what I'm doing afterwards. So for int I equals 0, I less than held bean defender scripts dot count I plus plus. Okay. Start coroutine. Move individual bean that's lost armor routine, and held I and yeah, the reason I've got this time float is because I want to leave it like a tenth of a second, just so they're not all coming back in one go. They're all going to come back a bit sort of slower and stuff. It just looks a bit nicer. So let's just do that in. So time equals 0 while time is less than 0.1 f, time plus equals time dot delta time, yield return null, and we've got, so it's waiting 10th of a second. That's actually all we need to do, I believe. This will be so cool. I'll be so happy if this just works first time, but I think it will do. And these are number of beans moving, aren't they? I'll just double check. So what we've actually got here, beans, yeah, number of beans moving. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to copy this, but change one of the right. Okay. So we're going to give it a test, and then if that works, we're going to then use it in the real game. Let's give it a try. Okay. So this will be the trial run. So R creates us 15 defenders. Let's go create a bit more. And then let's make some of them. Oh no, I've just just deleted them. Press the wrong button. So we've made 9 of them armored. So what should happen when we press when we test, these 9 should all knock back, but just lose their armor and then move back in line, and 4 of these should fall off. So let's see what happens. Bam. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's I'm all right with that. So if they were to get damaged again, we've got an error message, which is completely fine. Yes. Okay, brilliant. I know what the problem is here. So what's happening, where we've got the held bean scripts, what we actually need to do, yeah, that's fine. This is easily fixed. So I'll tell you what the problem is and why it's fixed. So the first time we knocked them back, we're keeping all the armoured ones that have lost their armours in this armour in this held beam scripts, right? But then when the knockback was happening again, and all those armoured ones have been sort of lost, we're then trying to reference these that are no longer actually available. So over here, what we want to do is have held defender beam scripts, or because what we actually could do, and I actually quite like this, ooh, no, we're just going to have here held defender beam scripts, equals null. I think that should be okay, because essentially it's trying to access something that it doesn't have access to. So let's give that a shot. Okay. Okay, so because we're taking 15 damage, ideally, all of the beams will get knocked back, but the 9 who are armoured will return back into this line. So let's see if that works. Okay, and then we get, let's go make a few more defenders, make some of them armoured. I'm going to give this a shot. Okay, that's fine. Let's see where we're... Oh, yes. So, that's okay. This is why we do all this. This is, again, quite easy to fix. So the reason we had an error message this time is we have made this equal to null, and then when we've tried to call it again, we're trying to look for like what the count is, and the count is, it's non-existent. It's not 0, it's literally non-existent. So we can have a little bit of code here where we go, if held beam scripts is not equal to null, then we do all this stuff. Whereas if it is equal to null, then it's irrelevant and you don't have to worry. So I'll just show you a little bit more what happens. So when you have armor, it's creating a new list of held defender beam scripts. But if you don't have armor, you're taking damage. It before was still just assuming that they still exist, whereas they don't. So there we go. This is why it's actually quite nice to sort of do a bit of sort of back and forth testing. Oh, looks like we got... Actually, is that an error message? No, we're fine. Okay. So, yeah, this is why I like to be a bit sort of sturdy with testing things. You know, I want to, like, I think there's an old coding saying where it says, if anything can possibly go wrong, it definitely will. So, you want to try every possible sort of situation. I want to try everything out. Okay, so we've got some armoured stuff. Okay, so taking damage. All of these guys go back in line, that's good. Taking damage again. And taking damage. The reason the Town Heart isn't taking damage is just purely because yeah, just because of how I've got it set up. So I want to just try every combination. So that's fine. That, and giving them armour. Putting more in there. Taking damage. Taking damage again. Okay, you know what? This is looking pretty good. So, right, now what we've got to do is the attackers have a very, very similar... I'm going to have to basically use quite a lot of code, but a lot of very similar code from what I've done, because the attackers have the same mechanic. So they're all going to attack, but if they've got armour, they can then live to attack again, but lose their armour. So that's where we're working at. Right, so you can see, like, this is actually time off stream when I was trying to fix all this. I was trying to work out what all of this means, where I was going wrong, but we can just get rid of all this. This is no longer relevant. It's quite therapeutic, it's quite calming just to get rid of all this bit of code that we don't need. So so I've had added, this is just the stuff that I put in, but we don't need that anymore. Wow, I put lots of rubbish. Here we go. Okay. Right. So, where are we up to now? So let's just save all that. Let's just check that I haven't accidentally created an error message anywhere. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to have a look at the attack building, edit script, and let's have a look. We're going to have the defense building just to run side by side, and in fact, I just want a little bit more space this side. So I think make attackers attack. So how complex is this? Okay. Right, in fact, let's go put this back in here because I want to have a quick look at this, just to try and work out exactly where we're at. So what's happening at the moment? So basically, sorry, just to summarise, I have now sorted this thing that was giving me grief last episode. So I'm pretty happy with this. Now what I want to do is get the attackers to kind of follow that same path. In that, let's just say you have, say, 20 attackers, 10 of which are armoured. All 20 are going to attack, but I want the armoured ones to then go back into the non-armoured realm so they can still attack for next turn. So let's have a look. Where are we? So what's actually happening? Make bean attack routine. Okay. So how's this going to work? And I think what we're going to do as well is we're going to have another thing just here, which is a public list of bean scripts that are held attacker bean scripts. So what we kind of want to do is make them all attack at the same time. So 4 in I'm going to actually now that I've kind of got everything sorted, I can now go back at this and try and work out what I've done here. Oh, it is actually. You know what? Now I'm looking at it, I might have to make a. I won't be able to kind of quite like get get away with just copying and pasting because I'm doing slightly different things. So let's go in comments, try and work out exactly what we're going to do. So for the time being, let's just pretend. Number of attackers. Yeah. Okay. So, just for the time being, I'm going to put all this in green. Yeah, so I'm going to comment all this out. This will probably give me an error message, which is fine. And we're just going to have, we're just going to explain everything that we're going to do. So, attack with the armoured attackers. Store the armoured attackers in the held list. Change sprites. So yeah, so we're going to attack with them. Then we want to change the sprites to non-armoured. Yeah, store all of these attackers in the held list. Attack with non-armoured. Move the held list back. Move the held list beans back in the non-armoured line. Brilliant. Okay, I think now that we've actually got this in place, I think this is yeah. Now we can actually just we can make a go of it. So, how can we be efficient with our programming? So, we actually So here we've got the number of attackers, and just like with defenders, we want the armoured ones to attack first. So even though at the moment there's no real reason why it won't attack with all of them, I want it to, you know, just if for whatever reason we can't attack with all of them, I want it to go off the armoured ones first. So in order for us to do this, we're still going to actually follow this routine, this make bean attack routine, but we're going to make a few modifications. So we're going to have bool is being armoured. Okay. Right. If being armoured, then we're going to do a bit of extra code, else we're just going to destroy it. We're just going to destroy it. Okay. So what's going to happen if the bean is armoured? We want to set the sprites so that it's so let's actually go set bean sprites to non-armoured sprites. Start idle animation. We also want to add it to the held list, but we don't actually need to worry about doing that there. So how would we go about doing that? Here I can just do a bit of copying and pasting. So when we're adding attack, we create the army, we do all this. And yeah, this was basically what I wanted, this bit here. Yeah, in order to start the idle animation, we want to cancel what the current animation that's going on, which is so yeah, so that's cancelling the current animation, and then we want play forward continuously. Just need to have a quick look. I've got it as 0.1. I think we can actually just copy and paste this code. I just scroll past it. Yeah. I think we can just copy and paste this code. Yeah. Okay. So just call it attacker int equals number of attackers. This might not be necessary, but I think it would just make it a little bit easier. So if armor total is, yeah, here's where I've just got to be very careful with the numbers that I'm using. So if armor total is greater than what I really should do is, first of all, if armor total is I'm not sure what music this is. Right, okay. So, if armor total is greater than 0, then you know what? Yeah, so while attacker int is greater than 0. Sorry, I'm just actually trying to work out the most efficient way of doing this. This might take just a little bit of brain work. Okay. So number of armored attackers attacking equals armor total. Okay. If armor total is greater than the number of attackers, then number of armored attackers attacking equals number of attackers. Okay, I think we're back on track. Yeah, like I say, we might not need this number at all. And that, we've kind of already covered that. Okay, so for int I equals 0, I less than this one, attacker armored bean scripts. Okay, so here I can look a little bit at the defensive build thing. What have they actually done there? Yeah. So it's actually not that, it's attacking. I'm just sort of having a look at this. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I can almost copy and paste this code. I won't, but I'm just going to keep this on the side because it's very, very similar. So what are we actually doing here? So bean script equals attacker armored bean scripts. So yeah. Okay. And now we're now removing, yeah, this was why we can't just have the count there, because it does affect, it gives us error messages if we're removing it whilst we're doing a for loop. So this is why we've just got a flat number here. Okay. So remove bean script. Hell. Oh yes. Also, we need to create here. We just need held bean scripts equals new list. So add bean script, and then we're going to have start coroutine. Attackers attack makers. Sorry, let me actually just see, where is that? me just get a bit more space here. Yeah, sorry, I know this is a bit slow, but we are getting there. Yeah, sorry. The only thing that I was slightly concerned of is it looked like I had a function that was. Individual. Oh yeah, that's okay. Ah, yes, okay, right, okay. I think yeah, so it's make bean attack routine, not make attackers attack, because this is the whole thing, so it would be creating an infinite loop if I did that. So it's actually this one here. Make bean attack routine. So we're going to just fill in all the spots. Monster Beck. True. So it's important that I had true there. And we just got to work out when do we actually set the armour in here. Sorry, kind of going from side to side here. So let's have a look. So we set the armour total to armour total. So looking back and forth. Oh yeah, so armor total minus equals number of. So this should always actually reduce the armor to 0. Because one thing which I'm sort of tempted to add at some point is putting in, some sort of enemies that can essentially they've got some sort of like block or something, meaning that you can only actually attack with a certain number of attackers each time. Or I might not do, but I just by having all this here, that gives me that like freedom to do that. So set armor total to there. So we've got all these stored, so that should be good. Now, attack with the non-armoured ones. Another thing that we need to do as well, and that is very well remembered, is have this bit of code. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Looks like it fit in between there. Although that will give me a red squiggly line. Number of attacker. Attackers armoured in line equals that. That's fine. Right. Okay. So this, hopefully, all of this code should check to see if we've got any armoured attackers, get them all to attack, lose their armour, and then store all the ones that have attacked into this held thing, and then and now we're going to do the regular attacker, the regular non-armoured ones to attack. So let's get rid of this. This needs to change slightly. So I think what we actually need to do is just work out the number of attackers. So this one here, this won't quite work because that's working under the assumption. Yeah, but we can fix that. Just try and work out exactly what it is. So it's so this will just be useful. So yeah, that's it. That's fine. I can just this. It turns out this does have a use. I did find a use for this variable. Attacker int minus equals number of armored. So yeah. So I don't think we need that. And we have here the attacker int. So yeah, what I'm doing is basically I'm saying the attacker int is like we've taken off the armoured ones that are attacking, and the remaining ones are going to attack now. So the reason this is giving me a red squiggly line is because we need to tell them if they're armoured or not, and in this case they're not, so we can put false. Okay, and now we want to move all the held ones back in the attacking line. Oh, hey man, you alright? How you doing? Yeah. Oh, you don't have to. Literally, like, kind of, it's way cool to see you, man. You don't have to apologise. Like, it's cool to have you. Yeah, like, kind of. I've been to summarise what I've been doing. I'll show you. I've made a cool little sort of fading function, which I'll show you in a bit. And I have been trying to fix getting the armoured stuff to work. Oh hey man, oh wicked. Gliss, yo. I realised you caught me when I was doing a properly sort of intricate technical bit, but we're getting very close. And as you probably know, or you may not know, quite a bit of coding is finding really good code that you've done earlier and copying and pasting, and that's essentially our next bit that we're going to do. So, and then you'll be able to get to see a bit of the bit of the game. So basically, this is the code which helps move all the armored ones back into place. How are you doing there, Glisten? So we've got a new so basically this function is going to be very, very similar. This is the one that moves all the non-armoured ones, the ones that have just lost their armour. Oh no, it's not that one. Yeah, let's find out what is mid. Go to definition. Oh, I've put it there. That makes sense. So yeah, we can almost copy and paste this word for word, but not quite. Right, let's just move this back over here. Right, so yeah, it's basically just a matter of changing all the things. So get rid of all this. Right, number of defenders. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. By all means, right? Yeah. This is meant to be the idea of this is you're meant to kind of like have something else on in the background. You know, play on your phone. Just like just enjoy like a crazy person talking what sounds like sort of garbled rubbish. um, so where are we at? So these are the. It looks like we're still checking that. So that's. Yeah. There we go. Still want to change some of the wording so it doesn't look like I'm completely copying and pasting. And for good reason, I'm changing this to 1. Yeah. And even though like copying and pasting does feel like a lazy way, it makes good sense. Is that all we actually need to do? Okay, I think that's all we need to do. So we've got one more little thing to do, and then we can actually test out our new findings. Right. So make attackers attack. It's going to be in this routine over here. Now, yeah, we're just going to move the held lists back here. Home. And it's basically just this script here. So let's just see all the red squiggly lines. Oh, have we not created? Oh yeah. We can actually put this variable inside all of this as well. Here we go. One last look at this and then we'll give it a test. Oh yes, right, so the only thing which I want to test is that we are actually adding. That's it, that's what I wanted to check. Just check that we've done that. Okay. Right, now let's see how many error messages we've got. Right, okay. Bring it, bring it. Loads of error messages. Right, this is where we find out. Okay, no. No, we haven't got any error messages. Okay, that's a good start. Right. Let's go. Okay, so like we can almost pretend like we're playing the game for real. So I'm going to build up my army a bit. Even though it seems a bit wasteful, I'm going to make some of these defenders. Right. Let's go make some of these armoured. And And let's get some more defenders in. And that's all my mana spent. Let's go. And I think we can probably use this time to... I mean, yeah, see... Now, if I was actually playing the game properly, obviously anything that draws you cards you want to play first, so you can know what else you can do in your hand. But that's just my sort of experience of playing Hearthstone. So end turn, bam. Okay, right now it's on the screen. Let's get some more defenders and some more attackers. Okay. Quite a lot of this is, there's a good chance we're going to get an error message, but let's see what happens. Okay. Right, at the moment all the numbers do line up, so everything's kind of working well so far. So let's just press it and then work out what's going to go wrong. Here we go. That was okay. That was okay. That is actually mostly what I wanted to happen. Although I shouldn't have taken any Town Heart damage. The defenders should have blocked all of that. And for whatever reason, the attackers, this attack number is a bit lower than it should be. So if I was to just have another, see what happens next time. So. Okay. Somehow I've got a -8 attack. I have no idea how that is the case. So we've got a couple of things to fix in one go. So if it were to attack now, what would happen? Oh, okay. So we have got a little bit more to fix. So yeah, there's quite a lot to unpack in one go there. But I genuinely think we are making progress. Oh yeah. Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, it's the ongoing joke is there's a game called Slay the Spire where that has been very popular, and I don't want to make a carbon copy of Slay the Spire. I want to make a slightly kind of yeah, just a different version where kind of like you've actually got to prepare. There's like a preparing phase. But yeah, though, cheers, man. Unfortunately, I did run into quite a few little problems, but we can. So damage to Town Heart, yeah, but this shouldn't be a problem. Oh, yeah, okay. I just forgot to change it there. Oh yeah, so a big problem I had last stream was. The number of defenders remaining should be just the total armour total, whereas I've got it just as the number of non-armoured ones. So this here just needs to change to the armour total. No, to the defence total. And yeah. Because get number of attackers. Oh, I see. So number of attackers. I should actually just have attack total. So yeah, that's okay. This is actually surprisingly enough. I think this might just work this time. Yeah, this is why it was. No. Total, yeah, that should be a private thing, a private variable, but that shouldn't matter too much. Right, let me go just save that and move this back in with his friends. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so a big sort of revolutionary moment that I had was when I realised that number needed to change. But let's see if we're making any. Is that actually all we need to do? Right, is it just going to work magically now? Okay, let's give it a shot. Because, yeah, right. Okay. This is a terrible hand to have right at the beginning, but that's okay. I do also, I mean, I know it's almost the sadist in me, but I do partly like with like Slay the Spire, when you actually are presented with a terrible hand and you've got to be like, oh, right, how am I going to deal with this, you know? Okay, now we want to draw first, so we're going to turn a few of these in here. Going to make some of these defenders, and I really ought to just put some more normal defenders out there. Okay, right, take two. Actually, okay, we haven't changed that. There is a spot there that I can't quite work out, and the attackers should be further up. Apart from that, and this number should be lower, but apart from that, so if we were to try again, for some reason this number isn't actually going down. Right, so if I were to move these attackers up, yeah, it's as if there's an empty spot that I haven't quite compensated for. And if I were to add these here, what would happen? Okay. Yeah, I just got to work out why the attacking is instantly clicked to 0, but that's probably quite easy to fix. Right, yeah. Okay, that's actually, I think it's still looking better than it was. It's all to do with the number of the number along in the line as to where it goes. So, right. Number of attackers is. Just having a quick check. Okay, yes. So whenever I hear any music that's got words in, I'm always just double checking that it is DMCA friendly. But it is. It's all good. Right. So number of attackers. Yeah, so it's all about this. We just got to work out why the attack total is not the number it should be. So the armor total goes to 0, that's fine. And we just got to work out, let's go find all references. So this is it. So it's where we lower the attack. Oh! Oh! It's just because I've got this. Okay. Yeah, it's just because I've lowered it down to 0. So we actually don't want this here. we want to lower it by that much. Okay, yeah. So the reason it was going to 0 was just because I put a bit of code which made it just go to 0 no matter what. So we're now lowering, it's not the attacker in, it is. It's not that number, it's something different, but I've worked out where the problem lies. So, oh no, it is that number, it is that number. Right, that should work. Okay. Right, so that's another thing that we've got. I think that should fix it, because yeah, I was just essentially reducing it by 0, but it's actually just by however many aren't armoured. Okay, so that should fix that. I want to just check to see if that's fixed. So we're just going to focus on attackers, and then I'm going to try and work out why some of the beans don't go back in line the way they should do. Oh, started and stopped it. There we go, right. Right, let's go and make some of these armoured. Okay, so from this perspective, we should be taking 3 damage. We should be taking 3 damage, and all of these will attack, and 4 of these will return back to the line. Let's see if that works. Oh, I think it did. Oh, brilliant. Right, okay. I think we've done it. Right, okay. Okay, I don't know if that was just lucky that it just skipped all the things. Oh, yeah. I told you the... Oh, yeah. I always like to... It's like, just want to remind everyone I do have a PS5. I can't remember if I told you the story about that, but I was ambivalent as to whether I should get a PS5 as soon as it comes out, and my friend said, it might be quite difficult to get hold of a PS5, and I was like, well, you know, he goes, he knew a way of getting hold of one, and I was thinking, yeah, go on then, you know, I want to play a bit of Demon's Souls, let's give it a shot. Let's go for it. And then it's like I found out that even now, like, it's literally been out for a year and it's still really difficult. So I'm really glad I managed to get hold of one when I could. I wonder if we can actually defeat him before... Yeah, sorry, I haven't actually played this game tactically at all at any point. I've just been trying. Yeah, I wonder if we can actually win this fight. I think that shuffling probably might take a bit too long. Right, okay. Oh, this metal wall is really useful. Okay, now why is it starting? So the number of actually, we can find this out. Actually, sorry, yeah. So the thing that I'm concerned with is when I'm creating the attackers, they should start at the top and then kind of create rows afterwards. Whereas there's a particular key number which I might have made public. I can't remember. I haven't made it public, so I can't see it. But it's, yeah, for some reason I haven't ticked that one number down. So they're just pushing further and further back, which I'm sure I'll be able to fix at some point. Right, so in theory, these guys should all lose their armour and then become normal defenders. And I should take 5 damage. And these 14 attackers should all go down and bring him down to 13 life. Yeah, that worked mostly. So I think actually, I mean, we've kind of done most of the stuff that we wanted to accomplish today. Let's go get some armour. So this is a slightly more defensive round here. Okay. Some attackers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's, yeah, like, I think, I know that there's someone who's been trying to get hold of one for a year, and he finally did get one just a week ago or something. But yeah, trying to get hold of a PS5 is incredibly difficult. Let's go give armour to all these guys. So, I'm slightly concerned. Oh, no, that's fine. So we've got 7 attack. So I genuinely, the only problem that we've got at the moment is when we're adding attackers, they're not going back into the line where they should be, because they should be effectively, like, they should be lining up here. Let's go give some more armour. Yeah, and these ones aren't going back in the line that they should be as well. Let's go give these ones some armour. So the armoured ones seem to be going into the line that they should be, which is fine. Yeah, but it's as if they're going further and further back. These defenders... Yeah. Okay. So I haven't actually got any death sequence, and at the moment that attack phase doesn't look that great, but it's kind of done what I'm looking to accomplish here. Right, fantastic. Okay, right. So yes, we've bested the blob. Even, I mean, he doesn't look bested, but trust me, his life is -3. You know. I will obviously. I'm going to do a cool like particle explosion at some point. So the only thing that we want to fix now is we want to make sure that they go back in line, and I think there is just a particular number that we need to just keep track of to be able to do that. So that should be okay. So yeah, they're just going to kind of move further and further back on top of everything. Yeah, but that's okay. Right. So it's all about number for attackers in line. Let's just find all references. First of all, I think one thing that's pretty important. Let's go make this public. We'll keep this public as well, so we can have a look. So, I'm trying to remember, there is a technique where you can make it visually public, but it's still private. And is that serialized field private? Does that work? Sorry, this is, yeah, just have a quick, I'm just gonna have a quick test. Because I've got to remember. Because that's, yeah, I do want to make it, at least, I want to make some of the coding a little bit professional. And it makes way more sense. So let me just have a check. Okay. No, but that's okay. I can sort that out. I'm just going to keep it public for the time being. Because, yeah. Number of attacks in line. Brilliant. Yeah, because I think there is just a certain point where I should have just made number of attackers in line, or yeah, go down, and I just didn't. So where do we need to do that? No, it couldn't be that. Let me have a look. I have a feeling it's in this routine. So let's go here and find out what's happening. So, is it just something as simple as here having number of attackers in line minus attacker in minus equals that? That might work actually, but we can keep track of it. So ideally they return back to their original like row. Right. And what we can do, actually no, this will be a bit complicated. Right, let me just in fact, yeah, all we need to worry about is the attackers. Okay. So let's keep track of number of attackers in line. So yeah, this is the one. Number of attackers in line, it's 20 and 4. That makes sense. Let me just go to a slightly smaller screen. Just have a little play about. 20. Okay. Right, there. Here's the tiny screen. Try and work out what's going on. So let's just end this turn. So if I actually, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just create an empty child. I'm just going to pinpoint it about here. So we just want to know that the armoured attackers are going to move roughly back to this spot here and then start lining up. Oh. Brilliant. Okay. Alright, yeah, that's fixed that. Okay, and I think I've just got to do the same for the defenders, because I think I just want to check as well. This hand's rubbish. Actually, I might be able to draw into something slightly better. Not really. Let's just, yeah, while we're here, we can just... Do this. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. Alright, yeah. So it has actually, because there was no cards left to draw, it has shuffled them all in just during this as well. That's something I wanted to test to see if it worked, and it actually worked pretty well, so that's quite nice. Let's just end turn now. So they are all going back to that point. Now, here's what I want. What I do want to test, and this looks like a perfect hand for it. So let's go back to full. Just while I'm doing this, make some of these armoured. Okay. Now I want to actually just where I've got that little empty game object. Here, I want to make sure when the armoured ones return, they go there. That's what we're looking at now. So let's continue. Oh, they have. Okay. I don't know why. Right, okay. You know when something does work and it shouldn't work? And yeah, like, I mean, I can't complain. I shouldn't be annoyed when something works as well as it should do. Maybe I just have put that code in. Oh, I guess I have. Although I've done it there. So where did I put it in? Yeah, I guess so. To keep consistency, yeah, I think I just did put the code in there. Okay, right, brilliant. Right, I need to have a quick break and make myself a coffee. Oh, I've even got a break screen now, which is... yeah, there we go. Ah, quick break, right. Anyway, I will be right back. Right. Right, back to the main setup. Right. Yeah. Why does this work? Yeah. So, like, I'm actually looking at everything. I think it's actually working quite well. Oh yeah, I decided to have water instead. I thought it'd be sensible. Because I've realised that like I can get through quite a lot of coffee throughout, and I just get really hyper at the end. So I thought, why don't I just, you know, go boring and have some water? So I think I'm quite happy. The only thing which I was slightly concerned about was when, and I don't know exactly when it occurred, but when the defender beans were returning online, there was just a little gap in one of them, and I don't really know why that is the case. But I think that's something which I'll come to. I'll come to a bit later, I think. Right, so that's the main part of what I was looking to do today. There is something else that I want to do, and it's going to be, I don't know if I'll be able to get it done, but I'll show you what I'm going to be working on next. Let's go make it full screen. Just like with Hearthstone and Slay the Spire, what you can do in Hearthstone is, let's just say I want to play this card and this card. Most people aren't going to want to play this, wait for all the animation to happen, and then play the next one. What they're going to look to do is sort of stack multiple cards at the same time. So, like, I'm actually just going to experiment, see what happens, because I haven't. I just feel like it'll either give an error message or something will go terribly wrong. But if I were to say, I want to place all these defenders in one go, so just do 2 like that, let's see what actually happens. It worked really well, didn't it? I shouldn't be annoyed at that. Yeah. The problem is I don't know why. I don't know why that's working well. Okay, right. So, I don't think it will work with, say, the metal wall, because, or something like that. So, right. Okay. So this will be a problem, right? This will create a problem, right? Because again, part of the fun is creating a problem. So, right, I'm looking to create an error message here. So, just job done. Okay, yes, good. Brilliant, yes. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, right, I mean, I shouldn't be happy. It's just like there was no reason why that should work, and it didn't work, which is good. So I think yeah, I like the idea of being able to play sort of multiple cards while you're waiting for... for one yeah, so obviously in this case, for whatever reason, these are here, this isn't here. That's good, that's fine, that's what I wanted to happen. So I think I want it to do whatever it is was going to do in the card and then wait. So okay, right, good, I've created the problem which I wanted to create. Okay, so how are we going to solve that? It will be... no, it's the card action script. So, perform card routine. So, what we kind of want to happen is... we need... oh, hold on. There's something here that I didn't save before. Oh yeah, no, that's it. I just moved that up there. That's fine. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. We want to get the card action script and the card script. And we've got to work out exactly what's going on. So, card go. Let's edit this script. Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's kind of more annoying when things just work. Like you're thinking, I don't know, this shouldn't be working as well as it should. So yeah, so here, where is it that we actually call? So perform card action over there. Okay, right, and I remember trying to fix this before. So what we kind of want to happen is when it's performing this action, it's obviously busy. So we've got to have some sort of function where it sort of queues up, and just got to work out how that's going to occur. So Yeah, this does require a bit of thought, but I think it's just nice to kind of look at it. So to look at it in this way. So it's going to start with something like this: public int number of cards queued. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I guess if you aren't sure why something works, it can be very easy to break later. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as it is, thank goodness I did actually manage to create the problem that I was trying to create. I mean, because that worked worryingly well, didn't it? When I just played those defenders and they all moved perfectly in line with how I wanted it to move. So it's just, I also want to deal with because I want to also deal with the fact that if you're doing 3 cards, you can still play 3 cards and they will just wait in turn to get everything sorted. So over here, so I'm having this public at the moment, so when it's performing the card along with busy, we're going to have number of card actions in queue plus plus, so we're adding 1 to that, and then number of actions in queue minus minus, because the reason that I'm sort of slow to put this in place is I know I've had problems where I've been able to have 2 cards working at the same time quite well, but if you try to add a third, it then gives you a problem, and I'm trying to work out a good solution. So that's where we go with. And again, I think I'm going to have a public bool array, which is I'm just going to call it qbools. I was going to spell the whole word, but I feel I can just do that, and we're going to have equals new boolean. Let's just have 20. So this is, okay. So and this is part of here I'm going to go look a little bit of a madman when I put it together, but I think this might work. This is definitely the basis for getting it to work. So we're going to have a public, this is going to be a function, get qbool, just get qbool, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Right. Yeah. Oh no, it's working. Oh, thank goodness I managed to break it. No, I mean, trust me, it would have got to my head if everything just worked exactly, because it shouldn't have. I know that when I was beginning to create something, when I was beginning coding, every now and then I'd have one of those situations where I was thinking, that's working significantly better than I've programmed it to work. It shouldn't be doing this. Okay. So So here, and we can actually have an integer here, int okay, right, yeah, this is quite tricky. Yeah, like I say, I might be. What I'd rather do is add a few too many things to get it to work, and then work out what I can take out. So, cue bools. Quite that, is it? So yeah, this requires we actually need to have a variable which is an integer. I don't know why this is here. This should be lower down. Let's just put this right. Let's put it underneath here. Okay. Yeah, like I say, I might be putting in a bit more code than I need to. But ideally, I want you to be able to queue up multiple cards. Because I could easily make it that you just can't play a card until one card has been already played. But I want to evolve it. I want to make the game a bit sort of smoother and easier to play. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so what we should do is have like a routine somewhere which is going to be like waiting routine. Waiting for last card routine. Oh yeah, that's it. Do I always stream on the same days or regular times, or just when I fancy it? I actually I've been trying to get into a habit of doing Saturdays and Thursdays, but I got a week of annual leave. So I was like, I really do fancy just getting my hands dirty and just doing a bit more today. So it's kind of whenever I feel like it, but I try to keep a regular schedule of Thursdays and Saturdays. Right. I know I've got the basis of all the things that I need. I've just got to work out exactly how I'm going to put this together. So what's going to happen? It's going to perform an action. And if number of cards in queue is equal to 0, then it's just going to simply perform this action. else we're going to get it to wait in a queue. And it's going to involve this, so right. So while number of cards in action, cue ball int no, sorry, cue balls. I'm actually regretting just having. I should have done the full word. Then we're just going to be waiting around there. But I think that needs to be -1. Okay, so it's actually checking for the last. It's checking for the first one. And then we go. Right. Why is that giving me a message? Oh, yeah. Let's see where we're going wrong here. We haven't actually told it what it is. Okay. Right. So let's just sort of do a little. So there we're waiting for last card routine. Putting in the arguments, and that should be number of cards in action. Okay, so we do one card if it's just one in the queue. Okay, I want to give this a shot. We're going to, I want to give this a try, and I have a feeling we're still going to run into problems. It might work for one, but let's see. I'd rather create the problem, work out where we struggle. Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there is another thing that I can fix, but I'm going to worry about that later. So, what we want to do is this, and then see what happens. So... No, okay. I think I still know where we went wrong. But that's fine. It was going to be worrying if that occurred so much. So why did that not work? So I'm not actually going to delete anything here, because I always get worried if I was like, this did work really well. So we're just going to have an extra bit here. So while card action script dot get cue ball. Oh, done the wrong brackets. There we go. Okay, because yeah, I do remember this is quite a complex. This is quite difficult to do. Because I want, like, yeah, an easy system. So this shouldn't fix anything. I just want to actually have a look at what's going on under the hood while all this is happening. So we won't maximise on play. And we're looking at the master. We're having a look at card action scripts. So we've got 20 booleans ready. And if we were to just play one card, oh no, that's interesting. Okay, because that should have gone up by 1 whilst it was doing that, and this is probably where the problem lies. So if we were to just play another one, I'm just checking. So nothing's actually happening over here. Okay. All right. Okay, so it looks like, okay, at least we've kind of identified where the problem is. For whatever reason, it's not doing any of these. It's not actually calling any of the scripts. So perform action, if number of actions. That is very bizarre. So, yeah, we're just going to have... I have a feeling that somehow it just bypasses all of this. Or it does what needs to be done, but where it should be waiting, it's not waiting. So I'm just going to have... there and there. I mean, I know this sounds like a little bit of a sadist thing to say, but I absolutely love this routine of actually trying to work out where the problem is and trying to fix it. It's like, you know, I get more annoyed when things just work perfectly first time. So, right, so... So we've got all here. Right, we're creating an attacker. Oh. Interesting. Okay, let me just see at what point, because it's as if it clicks through it straight away, and I'm excited to work out why that is the case. So it's doing that. Huh. Well, I know what the problem is. Here, when it's adding the attack, it's not actually getting busy to do it because it's still going true and false, but it's just instantly doing it. So let's have a look into here. Create army for beans. Start co-routine. Here. Oh, I just didn't put it in, did I? Okay, that's fine. Okay, right. So, you know what? All this code is actually still good, I think. So we just need to make this busy equals true. And we'd probably need to do that with a few other things as well. So have we still got the defense building? We do. So where we're creating the beans, we just need to make this busy and then not busy. See, I think this is also a nice thing. It's like you're fixing problems. Yeah, you sort of fix problems that you had earlier. So hopefully this might work. Let's give it a shot. Right. So we're just going to try one. Okay. Right. Brilliant. Okay. Right. Moment of truth. Right. We're going to create the attackers and the armor at the same time and see if this works. Ooh. Okay. Right. Okay, fantastic. Alright, now I want to... so, let's just go... Oh, yeah, I've got right. End turn. Fine. Okay, this is going to be a tall order, but let's see if this works. So 1, 2, and 3. Not quite, but I think that's because of... maybe it's close. It's close. If I were to turn the remaining ones armoured, okay, that's fine. So it turns out some things are working, some things aren't. But that actually did work. That worked. We're making progress. So we already know this and okay. All right. Maybe I was a bit quick to react. Okay, so I'm trying to work out if this is going to be a we'll fix this next time thing. You know what? I think it is. Like I know I've made the sort of basis, but I think there's still going to be a little bit more to it. Card action script. Let me just have a quick look. So where we're converting attackers to non. So I have made it busy there. Yeah, I think it's also. Yeah, I think this will be something. I'll probably actually save that for the next stream, just purely because kind of like I reckon I can do that. It's just I do remember the concept of trying to queue routines up together does get a bit confusing. So I think, yeah, you know what, we're going to call it there. I'm going to probably do something similar to what I did last time, in that I'm going to try to fix it off stream, realise that I can't, and then try it on stream, and then tell you the progress that I've made. I think that would probably be a bit more efficient, like, because otherwise, like, I'm going to be sort of staring at this for ages, trying to work out where the problem lies. Let's just have another quick look over there. So yeah, it's done everything that it needs to there, but it's all to do with just putting this in the right place. I know this is very close to what needs doing, but it's just not quite there. Right, so yeah, I'll probably call it here. But this has been actually a good session. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been it's been like it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was going to try test raiding, but I haven't worked out how to do that yet. So I'm going to save that for another time. But yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Thanks, Charity Fan, and yeah, thanks Glisten for joining me and stuff. This has been it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Cheers, man. Yeah, thanks, man. All right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys again soon. Yeah, rocking. All right, bye.